name is Maria Papadopoulou. I'm TALOS-AI for SSH project manager, and I'm associate professor assistant professor in digital humanities and classics at the University of Greece.
So hello everybody, thank you for joining this tutorial in person and online. My name is Laura Soffiantini, and I'm currently visiting PhD scholar at the TALOS Center of the University of Crete. What I'm presenting today is a tutorial on the use of web scraping, that is how we can extract textual data from the web on our laptop. And the example I'm going to show are for ancient classicists and ancient historians, in the sense that the kind of text we're going to scrape are ancient texts. So here you have an outline of the tutorial. After a brief introduction of the concept of web scraping, I will briefly present why web scraping can be very useful for people working with classical texts. We'll go through some of the online repository of ancient textual sources, and then there's going to be a practical part of the tutorial, so basically 2 exercises. The scope of this tutorial is to, at the end of the tutorial, to be able to read, comment, and write a short Python script, understand some basic concepts of the code structure, and finally be able in the future to reuse the code for your scopes, for your purposes. So a brief introduction. Web scraping is the technique used to automatically extract data from the websites. The scope for us is that it allows us to collect text and other information, so other kind of data or from textual data from websites, and save it to your laptop for various types of analysis. The goal is to transform web content into structured formats, and the fact that the one structure behind the text is crucial here, such as TXT to Excel files that are easier to analyze and process. What we want, what is the advantage for us is that this process automates the data collection process, eliminating the need of time-consuming manual copy and paste work. As far as, so during the first part of my, let's say, career let's say path as a student, I was used to simply copy paste text from the web. But let's do it to the computers, in which they are much better than humans. So these are some of the most known online repositories for ancient text. I collected just some of them. There are a lot of repository for ancient text out there. Perseus digital library. I'm quite sure all of you know Perseus. It's very famous and a long-standing project. The second one is the classical Latin text, Phi Latin, a collection of Latin texts. Then the P7, it's for inscriptions, so of Greek inscriptions. And finally, TALOS.org. I don't know whether you know, you have ever heard about TALOS.org. We are going to use it. But as you know, there are a lot more. There are, for instance, the Latin library for Latin text is a reference repository for Latin text, but it is not free, so a subscription is required. Databases for inscriptions in general, the TLG for Greek text. And here I added some well, let's say not less known, but maybe more linguistic oriented corpora. The first one is a collection of Greek texts, which were scraped from Perseus, and they were processed automatically to get the lemmatized and the part of speech tag version of this text. And then there is the LASLA, Latin corpus, so a similar project for Latin text. A lot of text, Latin text from the classical period, which were manually annotated for the lemma, part of speech, morphological features. And then a collection of Cretan inscriptions, Cretan institutional inscriptions. This is the output of a PhD project. The plus here is that the dataset contains inscriptions in an TEI epidoc format. These are just some of the numerous repositories out there. Two caveats before we start. The first one is please always check the license of the web page. So basically be sure that who created the website and the repo of the classical text. What this person or this group said about the reuse of their data. So check the license. This is crucial. It's a crucial step to perform an ethical web scraping. The second suggestion is just check if someone else did the work for you. Okay, so let's dig into the first exercise. We are going to use TALOS, which was one of the repos I mentioned before, and we are going to scrape text from TALOS. What we want to do is to scrape inscriptions in TALOS coming from this book, which is a very relevant collection of inscriptions. It's a royal correspondence in the Hellenistic period by Wells, and it was digitalized on TALOS. What we want to do is to extract the inscriptions in translation into a single CSV file. For instance, our scope could be to reconstruct the network of letter senders and receivers. This is just an example of what we can do once we have all the text on our laptop. So what we have to do is to access this website. You can search it online. The link is here. And then go to inscriptions and papyri. It's a section of the page you will get searching for talos.org. Okay, access this. And then access royal correspondence in the Hellenistic period of Wells. Everything is fine? Perfect. Okay, so very briefly, a CSV file, which is what we want to get. CSV stands for comma separated values. It is a file format that we are going to use. So what you can see on your web page is this, basically. So a very introduction of the epigraphic collection of the text, and then a list with all the inscriptions. On the left, you will find a link with RC, which stands for Royal Correspondence, and the number of the inscription. Then a brief description of the content and the chronology. It is a list of 75 letters, and this is why we want to scrape it automatically, avoid going through it one by one. As for our exercise, we will focus on the Latin I chose. I mean, the Latin number 36, which I ask you to open. As you can see, this is the structure that the TALOS project opted for to present the content of the letter. So you can see there is a title, the number, the description, some metadata, another text with a description, and then finally the translation and the link to the following letter. As you can see, there are various links in this page. This is very intuitive. They are the blue words linked to something else. So my question here is, what kinds of data do we want to extract? What kind of data do you think are interesting to extract from here? And how are we going to organize it for the 75 letters? So what do you think it could be interesting to scrape from this web page?
Metadata, provenance.
Yes. So the metadata, for sure.
Translation.
The translation, for sure.
It seems like there's some named entities like highlighted within the text.
Yeah. Also the name, this already annotated words, let's say name entity. Anything else? Yes.
The date, I would say.
The date, for sure. So all the metadata.
This is the metadata.
Yeah, so this is the translation, so the text, and I would call all the rest of this metadata, so all the historical information that can be added to our text. And for sure, also, the first one, the ID, is crucial. We definitely need this, otherwise we're going to have just a very messy CSV file. And also this, I would say it's interesting. It's a very short, let's say, description of the content. It could be useful to navigate our CSV. Okay, so the text for sure. So what I ask you to do is to create or draw just in a doc or on some paper, a table organizing the data you want to extract. Okay, so consider that the table is going to be our CSV file, and just so consider which kind of data you want to extract and how you would put this data in a table. So we said the ID is relevant, the description can be relevant, all the metadata, and the translation. Yes, and when you have finished, you can just share how you would construct it. I mean, the point here is that to be aware that when we start the web scraping, we need to, realize before we start the web scraping which data, how we want to let's say, structure and organize them, and doing it consider a table helps us since we're going to create a CSV file. So this is how I would construct my table. So it is relevant to have, let's say, column names. What was your EID? Okay, perfect. Yeah, definitely EID, which is the number of the letter. I decided to name this information description. Then the Greek text, which is here, and it's just the reference to a collection, an epigraphic collection, the provenance, date, and the translation. And as you can see, this is just the first letter, but in our output, we would like to have 37 preceded by the first 35 letters, and then the remaining. So our goal is to go from this to this. How we can do it is by web scraping with some Python programming. As you can see, it's, we have to reorganize our data. Okay, so let's say the starting point is the fact that each web page, just like our letter on 36 on TALOS.org, has a source page with the text structure in HTML. So if you want to inspect your web page, depending on whether you have a Windows or a Mac laptop, you can press Ctrl plus U, or yeah, for the Mac, this combination of symbols. Were you able to access? Okay, perfect. Also from home, I mean from the persons connected online. I cannot access the chat, but if there are any problems, thanks. Okay, so as you can see, the page is written in HTML, which is a markup language used to structure and display the content of web pages. HTML has a nested structure with tags. So what you can see are tags, and the tags we were reading in the web page. And it's nested in the sense that tags can contain other tags. This sense, and tags can be parent and children. Parent tags contains children tags. And there are tag conventions to structure your HTML. The HTML is the first tag. This tag closes, it's closed at the end of our document, and then there is the head, title, meta, body is another conventional tag to structure your HTML. So what we want to do is to use a Python script to access the source page and extract the content of the tags, because what we want to access is the content. So what we, let's say, put in our table. And so to fill our table, that is our CSV file. Okay, I'm not sure whether you can see, but what I want to ask you is to find in this HTML the text we were looking at before and the corresponding tag in this better. If you can have a look at it from your laptop. So can you find where, for instance, this translation is, or where the ID is? Okay, they are between tags. For instance, as for the, let's say, the descriptive sentence, in which tags is it? H2. Okay, yeah. So there are different tags for the different parts of the text. Okay, now the more interesting part. So this is the link that I'm going to share with you to access a Google Colab. I'm going to do it this way. Chat, okay. Let me know whether it's working for you. Is it working? Okay, so yes, so this is a Google Colab set, which is a free platform which provides an environment where you can write and execute Python code. And so what I ask you to do is to make a copy of this file, rename, and open your copy. So it is in file, yes. You should be able to, from file, make a copy on your drive, rename and open your own copy. Yes. From this file. Yes. I just make a copy. Yes. Yes. Save a copy on your drive. Yeah, it's just save a copy, not make a copy. Okay, so it automatically open a copy, rename. You will work on this copy. So the notebook, which is the file, let's say, which was open, contains cells in which there is the Python script. So it is structured in cells, so in slices, let's say, with the Python script. And very briefly, Python is a programming language. It gives a set of instructions and syntax to write commands for computers to execute. Okay, so do not look at the screen now because there are the solutions. What we're going to do is to look together at the okay. If I do this on, can you see? No. Okay, so can you see online also this?
Maybe we can show now where they can do the save a copy. So
yeah, sure. File, save a copy in Drive. Click this, it will automatically open the copy of your file. Okay, so in this part of the tutorial, we are going through Python text. I'm going to describe what we are going to do and what the Python script does. And there are going to be some exercises. When you see the 3 or 4 question marks, something needs to be added to run the code. So these are the cells I was mentioning before. This one is a cell, this one is another cell. As you can see, in a notebook, you can also put raw text, so text which is not written in Python, like the title and some descriptions. Basically, as I said, the cells contain Python script. What we want to do is to understand what the Python script is doing. And once we have understood it and complete the code, we are going to run it. And to run the cell, you just need to click on this, let's say, play button. This is how the Google Colab works. So at the very beginning of our notebook, we need to import some libraries. And you can imagine Python libraries as toolkits. So a set of instructions which were already done by other people, and that we want to so a set of instructions we want to reuse to do specific tasks. So as I said, this is import a library, which is at the beginning of our notebook. A library is a collection of pre-written code. To import, which is the specific term to say to open, to access the library, we write in the cell import, which is a Python keyword, in the sense that when we write import, Python knows what it has to do, and then the name of the library. So we need some libraries to do all the process we want to do. The first one is CSV. I mentioned this format several times. We need this library, which is called CSV, to create our CSV. Then the second one is request. It is a library used to send a data request over the internet. So basically, we are going to ask Python to access the page of our letter. And then finally, Beautiful Soup, which is a library which is used to parse and navigate through HTML. So Beautiful Soup is the tool which will enable us to access the text in the HTML. So as you can see, there are 3 question marks, and this is a comment which says import the library whose name is requests. So this is the exercise you need to complete before you run this cell. So please, as we said, to import the library, we need the keyword import and the name. So please modify your code here and push the play button to make the run, the code running. I'm gonna wait for you. Okay, it's gonna be very easy. It just import request and then it's gonna take some time. When the code is ready, there's going to be a green tick on the left of it. So you just run the first cell of your Python code, importing all these libraries. The second thing we need to do is to assign a variable. Our scope now is to access the web page, so the source page of our letter number 36, and extract all our text. So at this step, we need to get the HTTP, so the URL address of our web page. So in this cell, we are assigning a table, and I'd like to spend just some words on this because it's crucial. This is task is called variable assignment. What we need to do is to create a variable and put on the variable our the web page address. So this task, which is called variable assignment, is one of the very basic components of the Python to write Python script. You can imagine this task as basically as if the variable is this box, and you want to put in this box some kind of data. So this is the variable, and you want to put, and you can put different kind of data in your box and name the box. So the box, which is the variable, will carry the data which was assigned throughout the code. And when we need to access the content of the variable, we can just use the variable. Okay, so to create a variable, we just assign a variable a name. In this case, I opted for URL equals sign, and then the content of the variable, which is the value of the variable. And there is okay, why didn't it change? Is it just not sharing the code? I don't know why.
Escape?
Interrompi? Escape
Yes.
from division?
Escape the PowerPoint. I think you're currently the PowerPoint, right?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So here, value assignment, 3 question marks. So something to do for you. What I ask you to do is to look for the address of the web page on your Google Chrome or whatever, and put here. So eliminating the 3 question marks, the address of the web page. In this way, we are going to assign the address to the variable URL, we're going to use the quotation marks. So we are going to put the address between quotation marks because we want to create a string. So a sequence, the computer will consider this just as a sequence of characters. So let's do it. Am I still sharing? So we need to go to atlas.org. It was in inscription and papyri, royal, and it is the number 36. Is this one? So just copy. And paste. And this way, okay. And just run the cell. Okay, so here is the first function, which is print. Is a very basic function. Basically, the function print allows you to ask the variable, the box, to be open and to show you the content of the box. So the function is, let's say, a block of reusable code, which we want to use, and the expression uses to call a function. You need to call a function, and to call a function, to do the function, do something to a specific variable. So in this case, I ask you to print the content of the URL variable. So use the function print on the variable URL. This is I've already written the function. You need to put the variable of our URL here and press play to show what happened, to see what happened. Okay, so as you can see, it simply shows what we put here in the variable assignment. Okay, then, but as I said, what our scope is to get the, not just, I mean, we cannot do nothing just with the address of the web page. We want to access the web page. And to do this, we are going to use one of the other libraries we imported at the very beginning, which is requests. And the code here means that we want to use the library requests, and from the library request, use get, which is a method of the library, on the URL, on the variable URL. So as you can see, this is another function, request.get, on round brackets, the parameter of the function. So once again, the function will do something on this, which is between round brackets. So the assignment here is assign the output of the function on the variable response. Another variable assignment. And what would you do? So here, if I ask you to assign the output to the variable response, which is the solution of this assignment. Is it necessary I repeat something, or is it quite clear? So, which is the solution here? And let's say, what do you need to do? What do we need to do here? Response. yeah, response here on the left. Okay, so we created a new variable response which contains the results of all this stuff. Okay, what's next? We are going to use the third library. This is beautiful. So now we have the request get was able to access the web page, but this is still not enough because we want to be able to access the content of the web page, which is the HTML structure. And to do it, we need to use beautiful soap. So this is another function. As you can see, again, the library we imported round brackets, and here it says that beautiful soap is going to take the content of response, which was the variable we just created, and we'll do, and now we indicate to the beautiful soap that what it will find in the response content, so in the web page, is written in HTML. So what we are doing here is to parse the raw content of the HTML web page using the library beautiful soap. The function turns the raw HTML content of the response into a more structured and readable form so that we can easily work with it. The parameter HTML parsers tells beautiful soap to use the built-in HTML parser to interpret the HTML structure. Is it clear? Is it too fast? Okay, so the task here is to assign the output of all of this to a new variable here, and I want this variable to be called soap. Yes, S-O-U-P. Yes, it's because, it comes from it's very common to call the objects of beautiful soap, just because it's in the name of the library. Okay, so did it work? Perfect. And then in the following cell, write the code to print the soap variable. Did it work?
No. It has a green tick.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Wait. What you need to do here, okay, the print is almost perfect, but the variable need to be around, yes, exactly, around bracket. Yes. Yeah, not the function entirely, but print is out of the round bracket. Just the variable. Yes, exactly. Just the variable. So print is outside the bracket. This is the name of the function, and so is our variable. Okay, so the brackets are for the variable. Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes, without the dots. Without the dots. Yes. So I delete. Okay, try to run it. Why? It should be an interest. Okay, this is the first trace back. This is an error. It's not the one. And as you can see, if there is some differences between the name. Yeah, okay, exactly. Almost perfect. It's all, yeah, right. It's perfect. It's first time. This is strange. Yeah. The right URL. And this is just the URL.
Yeah, because I haven't.
Okay.
That's good.
Perfect. So,
Thank you. So you have done all that. The soap before.
Oh my God. Soap. Soap. Okay, just remember to run your cell. And what if we print the content of the variable soap? You see that we get in our notebook the content of the web page. And this is the starting point of our web scraping task, because we want now to tell the computer what we want to extract and tell the computer to put the extracted data on our table. Okay, so this is the same HTML we inspected when we opened the source page. It's just here now. Okay, so as I said before, what we want to do now is to be able to navigate through the HTML, identify where our metadata and the translations are, and tell the computer to extract this text. To access this information, we are going to use the tag, because the tag allows us to tell the computer, get there, get the text, and then put it on the CSV file. So to do all of this, we are going to use, again, the library Beautiful Soap, which is done to, let's say, navigate and parse HTML data. So, okay, I need to go back to the presentation. Okay, the function, what a function is. Okay, all of this, yes. Some problems. Okay, so what's next?
Sorry, share your, because now you're sharing the
She
folder.
wants to go back with the presentation.
Yeah, but you are sharing also the column.
I'm still sharing the collab.
Yeah, change your.
Yes, I'm just going this way. It's not super easy to change from one presentation to the other. Okay. Okay, perfect. So going to use Beautiful Soap. Here I added the documentation of the library that we are going to use to do all this stuff. You can find the link here. Almost every library, Python library, or every library in Python has a documentation, which is a document in which.
Sorry.
No, but don't worry, she clicks on the three dots and she goes on the screen. Click on the three dots and it will go for.
On your laptop, the three dots.
Underneath your slide, there are three dots.
Ah, yeah, sure.
You click.
So that you don't share, that you share, that it goes full screen.
No?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to go back to the code in a minute so that we tell this information. But so here the documentation, this is very important because this is what you are going to look at when you need to redo all this stuff on your own. The documentation tells you how the Beautiful Soap library works and what you need. So all the syntax and the structure and the comments, all the tools you have in this library to do whatever you need to do. And this, just remember, this is our goal. So, okay. This way, no, it's not. I'm sorry, guys, I don't know where to, okay, just here. Okay, so what I want to discuss with you is that depending on how structured our source page is, we are going to adapt our code to how the tags are used and how structured the HTML is. Here is a brief, let's say, introduction to the tags. As you can see, there are the compulsory, so the tags that are necessary to be there, which structures each HTML file. We said before, HTML, head, title, and body. Then there are some element tags, H1, H2. So Rachel mentioned before that one of the things we want to extract is between the H2 tag. There are div tag, p tag, and so on, a tag, and also there are attributes. So a tag can also contain an attribute. We are going to use the href attribute, which is specify the URL for a hyperlink of the tag A. So where you can see an hyperlink, which is an external link. As you can see, it is contained in an A tag, and there is an attribute of the tag equal, and then the link. This is the same here. So it is a standard convention that hyperlink are in the attribute href in the tag A. And there are other, for instance, the fact that I tag defines a section of text in italics. And we're going to see that also in this HTML page, the I tag is used. So, okay. And now we need to look both at the code and at the slide. So the first thing we want to extract, as you can remember, is the identifier, which is crucial for us. So it is here, so royal corresponder RC letter 36. And in which tag it is very easy, in the title tag. In Beautiful Soap, all of this, so from the opening tag to the closing tag, it is the title tag. So the title tag is all of this. What we want to extract is the text. As you can see, we do not care that it is between the title tag. We just want to extract the text. So please access the code, the Google Lab, because what we are going to do is to use. Okay, so we are use Beautiful Soap and conventions in Beautiful Soap to get the title tag and the title text. So there are no let's say assignment here. Just please run the code close to the subtitle and to see that we are going to get the title tag. So in Beautiful Soap, to get a tag, we just put the soap, which was a variable containing all our HTML, dot the name of the tag we want to be shown. Okay. And so yeah, just run. So print the subtitle, just a very, let's say, short exercise to, I think it's working. I don't know if you tried it. It works. Yes, okay. Okay, just to try to use again the print function. So here, considering the slide from the PowerPoint presentation, what is happening here? This is the
can the share screen because we are in the PowerPoint now?
We are in the PowerPoint.
On the share screen. You haven't changed it in the share screen.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry for this.
No. I'm sorry that I'm continue changing from one part to the other. Is it correct now? Okay, thanks. So we just seen that this is how to access the title tag, and then here there is the code, and what I ask you to describe is what is happening in this cell, which is complete, but please, let's say, try to explain me what is going on here. And this is just a hint. Python is a human-friendly and readable language. So here we have once again, the variable dot title dot get text and round and brackets.
I know. Do you want me to say?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's getting the text from within the tag, not
Yeah.
the tag.
Not the tag. So here, if we print this, what we're going to get?
Just RC letter 36.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so if we run it, just get this, and here we can say get tags to get only the tags of the tag. Okay. This was correct. No, don't worry, it's also. So to get the tag is SOAP, because SOAP contains all the HTML and the name of the tag. To print only the text, SOAP dot title dot get text. Yeah. No, just never particle, just yes. So this was just we were trying to understand what's happening here. So it is already written, as you can see. While dot title shows the entire tag. Yeah. When we said dot title dot get text, the function get the text. Okay, so then there are some exercises to do. Some of cells to complete. So the first one is get the H1 tag, then get the text of the H1 tag. Here we have a variable assignment, so assign the text of the H1 tag to the variable ID, get the H2 tag, blah, 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 blah. So take some time to do the exercise. So this was for the two parts. Now we are okay here. So when I was preparing the tutorial, I realized that this HTML was not so structured as I expected. So now we want to extract the Greek text, provenance, and date. The fact is that all these three kinds of information are in an I tag, which is used to express the fact which is in italics. So as you can check it on the website, you will find the Greek text is written in italic. The point is that while the other tags, H1, H2, title, are, let's say, standard and unique in the text, so we were able to access the tag directly. In this case, this is not the case for this part of the web page, because I is used, you can see there are other I tags. So if we access the I tag, we are going to get multiple results, and it's not, let's say, useful for us to say, I want exactly that one. So please, anyone can just read this sentence and explain us what is here. So what's happening here in terms of tags and content of the tag. Just describing to understand what's going on here. Yes, please.
Okay, so it says that there is a text,
Yes.
which is called Greek text.
Yes.
This is what we can say, and it is in italics.
Yes.
And next to it,
Yes.
there is a link, a connection,
Yes.
which is the following link, epigraphy ad factum.
Yes.
And I guess that the text, where if you click, you go to the link,
Yes.
is called IKEO IKEO.
Mhm.
So this is the title of the link, but the content of the link is epigraphy.factum.
Yes, exactly. That's perfect. And what about, I mean, it is in an A tag, where the A tag is closed
At the end,
at the end. So
in the name of the link.
at the end, here is the end of the A tag. So it's perfect. So there is an I tag, an A tag, which it's closed here. It contains an attribute with the hyperlink. Then the A tag also contains a text, but then here it is closed, and there is an additional text that we want, because this is an important relevance for people, because this is a reference collection, so we definitely want also this. But as you can see, it is not inside a tag. So if we simply use the let's say the comments we have been using, we will not be able to access this. So, and it's the same for the provenance. If you look at it, it's the same. For the date, it's something different. We just have an I tag and then out of text, the text. So please go again to the code. Exercise, share. Okay. So we are going to use, here we are going to use more beautiful soap methods to navigate this more complicated, more, let's say, nested structure of the HTML to get all the information we want. So the first one is the find method, that we're going to use the find next method, and then get also the href attribute. So let's go through it. The first thing we want to do is to get to the tag, which is I tag with the content Greek text. And to do this, we can do, as you can see, what we want to do is to get the I tag containing the string Greek text. In this way, we will be able to get exactly what we want. And to do it, we're going to use a find method inside Beautiful Soap. So here there is an assignment. There is the first argument. So the first question mark, question mark, question mark is the name of the tag we want to find, which is yes, I. The second argument is the text of the tag, and then assign the two. Well, the first assignment is fill the two. Let's say the two arguments, the two parameters. Then assign the output to the variable Greek text tag. So please try to do this assignment. Did you already get it? Okay. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to repeat. So we're using the find method. The find method will allow us to get to the tag, which is an I tag, but which contains the string Greek text. So here we are going to find the tag, the exact tag we want to get. And then once you have completed the part on the right, just simply assign all of this to the variable Greek text tag. Here we are going to put this because it's the tag from where we want to start, and then Greek text tag to get. Let's check what is inside it. Greek text A is what you were describing as the following one. Then we want to get the link. So as you said, it's interesting for us also to have the link, which is the href attribute of the A tag. So the tag is followed by square brackets containing the attribute as a string. So here there is no assignment. The only assignment is to print, to show the content. As you can see, to extract this, we need to write, here is an assignment, but here's the interesting part. It is the name of the A tag between square brackets, the name of the attribute. So what we need to do here is just to print link, and you should have simply the link. So as you can see, we were starting from the entire tag, and here we were able to extract only the link. Get the text, and here you know already, we already use the get text method. We want to use get text that we have been using before. Starting from this tag, just get the text, which is the EKO, this indication. So let's do it. So assign the text of the A tag to the variable Greek text 1. So the variable is this. Oh no. And get the text from this. Get text. Okay, let me check if everything is fine. Okay, so another method, which is next sibling method, to takes the tag from which we want to start, which is A, as its object. As you remember, the very last part that we wanted to extract was the OGIS reference, which was outside any tag, let's say. And so we are going to use this method, next sibling. It's the next sibling will just say, starting from A, the tag A, just see what is the next sibling, the closest thing you find. And so it is written this way. This is an assignment. Here we are going to put the A tag, next sibling dot strip is going to take which is what the next sibling of A is, and so just here print what you get. So it works this way. So we are going to want to get the next sibling of the tag A, which is next tag A here, and show what it is. And it should be, yeah, the OGIS part. So now, at this point, we were able to extract the link, the first reference, and also the second reference. And now we want simply to create a unique string. So the term is concatenate strings, to say, put all this information in the link, the first reference, the third reference, in a single string. So string can be concatenated with the symbol plus. So use plus to concatenate strings by combining them into a single string, which is what we are doing here. In the first assignment, I just want you to assign the empty string. So this is a string, as we said, between quotation marks, but it's empty, a sequence of characters, to the variable Greek text. So simply just assign the name Greek text to this empty string. Is it clear? No. No? Okay, I want you here we are creating an empty string. We want to assign this value to a variable. It's always the same process, so variable assign. So this is just saying it is a string, but it's like nothing inside. Assign to a variable, which I want you to ask Greek text. How can we do it?
The variable is called Greek text?
Yes.
Okay, variable is there?
Yes. Very simple. Perfect. And so if you, at the end, you print, you're going to see the result of the concatenation. So the variable Greek text contains a concatenation of these strings. So the concatenation is, so here we have link with text, which is a variable containing the link, plus, and then I just added a string, which is a comma, since it is a string, is between quotation marks, comma, so a space, plus, because there is another concatenation, the Greek text 1, which is a variable containing the first reference, plus, is it clear? Okay, plus another string, which is just comma, I want to add in my final result, plus the third and last variable, which contains the reference to OGIS. So if I concatenate the 3 strings into, and I put the result into a new variable, and I ask the computer to show the content of this final box, I'm going to get all the strings concatenated in a new string. Is it clear?
I have a question.
Sure.
So if you create what the variable has inside as a content, then you might as well add the ID, for example, here. You can use as many as you want, and you can arrange them how you want.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's the idea to work with variables is that anytime I want to use at a certain point, for instance, the link, I do not have to rewrite the link, which is, I cannot remember where it is, but I just use the variable and then I can access the content of it. So here is an example. I use the variable to access the content, which is the link, okay? And this is string concatenation, which is one of the options you have to manipulate string. Just say, take a string plus another string, put it together, the output, a longer string. Okay, then some exercises, how much time? We do not have much time, but please try to do the same we did for the provenance and the date. So some exercises, we need the provenance, we need to first identify the I tag containing the string provenance and assign it, blah, blah, blah. Get the A tag following the provenance tag, okay, and assign it to, get the href, get the text of the variable, of the tag, sorry, get the next sibling, and then concatenate into a new string. Finally, the date. Get the date and get the next sibling to the date tag. Okay. So we're going to simply see what we did previously. So this is how we identified the provenance. Subfine I, but here we do not want to get Greek text, but identify this. Code, let's see if it was correct. Yes. Find the A tag next to the provenance and assign to the variable. This. And we can just check what we did before to find the next one, find next A. But here it's not the Greek text tag, but it's the provenance tag. Code. And the variable contains this one that get the attribute and put it in the variable link. And same, we can check what we did, how it was written. It is written this way, so we're going to put it here. It is the content of an href, so we can keep href the same, but we're going to change the name of the variable here. And just let's check also this. is the link. It's a link to Wikipedia, to the place. Get the tags of this tag and assign to the variable provenance1. And to get the tags, it is provenance-I, get tags. One, okay, this one, the next sibling, and assign to the variable provenance2. The next sibling, again, just check what we did before. Yes. It is not the Greek text A, but it is provenance A. So it should be, if it's correct, it contains the other provenance, so which is the region in this case. Then create an empty string, provenance, and concatenate the strings. So provenance at the beginning is just an empty string. And then we want to concatenate all of them together. So now we say that provenance, which is at the beginning is just the empty string. We want to say, starting from this, then do a concatenation, which we did in this way. So the link plus a comma plus the second link. So it is here, the link is the link provenance. So it is this plus to concatenate, open the quotation mark, a comma, a space, another plus for the second string, which is provenance1, okay, plus, open, comma, space, plus, the third one, provenance2, this way. And if we now print, it should be okay. So the link, the two places in a single string, because we want to put it all together. Get the tag containing the string date, assigning to the variable date tag. So we just start with our variable, get the string, just copy paste what we did here. Here, now the provenance of the date now. Code date tag. We should be able to get the date, the tag containing date, and then finally just the next sibling is to and assign the output to the variable date. So here, go to the next, go to get the method, how the method is written. It's not the provenance, in this case it's the date tag. So we change it here. Okay, I forgot to run it. And then the date, and it should contain, yeah, the date. So now the date variable contains the year in which the letter is dated. Okay. Is it okay? Just reuse all the methods we use. Now for the translation, I think it's here. I'm sure it's something, it's not the same problem. Or is it correct this time? Is it fine? Okay, well, okay. For the translation, when I was preparing the tutorial, so I realized that in addition to all the, the features of the HTML we have already seen, there is an additional one. So the translation, in which tag is the translation? Okay, in a p tag. but it's not the only p tag in the HTML. Here there is another one. And so what we want to tell the computer is that please get exactly here. So as you can see, in addition, the p tag is here. It is open here, but it's not closed here, as we would expect, but here. So until the very end of all this HTML section. So what we want to tell the computer is extract this, stop here, skip all of this. So in the Google Colab, you will find how I try to figure out all of this. So the idea basically was to identify this p tag. I mean, I struggled with it. It's not, it's a structure for sure, but there is not a unique tag for the translation. So inspecting the HTML, which is how, we need to do this task. So inspecting the HTML, I found that this p tag, which is followed by the translation, is after an HR tag. So in the first line here, you can say that I'm using the find next method, and I'm asking the computer, please find the p tag following the HR tag. And since the HR tag was unique, I was able to, detect the exact p tag. But so to repeat it, it was the result of inspect the HTML, see how you can figure out the problem you are facing. So this was a solution I found there. I'm sure there another solution you can find to figure out how to tell the computer this p tag, not a previous one. Then, as we said, it is a long p tag. Can you tell me what is in this p tag? What is it inside this tag? There are different things. So there is the text, but there is also a tag and other stuff here. And then there is a second p tag, there is a p align, another a. So there are many things inside this. The strategy I decided to use is to inspect all of this. So when you want to write a Python script, you have to analyze what you have and understand what you want to do and what is a possible solution for that. So in the analysis part, what I decided to do is to, I realized that a solution could be to ask the computer to go through each thing inside this p tag and inspect it. And then I realized that after the translation, after the full stop of the translation, there is another p tag, and there is any p tag in my text. So my idea was, what if we ask the computer to go through all of this, and when he finds a p tag, the first p tag, I want to interrupt the extraction. I want to tell the computer, please stop at the first p tag. So again, for each thing, which can be a text, an a tag, not a p tag, there is obviously, for each thing you find the p tag. If you find the p tag here, break the loop. So stop, interrupt. Otherwise, so if it is not, until it is not a p tag, please get the content of it and concatenate the text in a string. Is it clear? Okay, so this is the part that is called analysis. So before you write the code, try to explain in natural language what you want to do. Because what we want to do is to translate the solution you found into a Python code. So to translate what we realize is a strategy to address our problem into Python language. It is a matter of translation. And this is a more explanatory section of the tutorial because I need to introduce, I don't know how much time I have, not that so much. So because I have to introduce two relevant basic concepts of Python. So what I want to tell the computer is for each thing you find, starting from P, do something. Okay. So to do this, so to translate this for each thing you find in the P tag, we can use a for loop. A for loop is a flow statement in Python used to repeat a block of code. It goes through a sequence of items and iterate the same action for each of them, which is basically what we want to do here. So a flow statement, so let's say, okay, something in Python used to repeat, to do a repetition. This is what is important for us because we want to say for each thing in the P tag. So start from the first, look, stop when it is a P tag. So it has to go through all of them. So a zoom on the syntax, how can we write it? Here just something we have already seen, just the assignment to a variable to an empty string. But here it is what matters for us. So for, this is a for, there is an in, and what we are saying. So we are looking on the syntax, so how things are written in Python. The for loop is written this way. So for blah, 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 in blah, 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 which is the column, which is the name in English, I cannot remember. Column, okay, which is here. And then indentation, which is done with this symbol on your keyboard. As you can see, so for blah, 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 in blah, 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 column, indentation, which is this space, and it follows. Indentation defines the structure and in Python is crucial. So if you do not put the indentation after a for, after the column, it will not work. For loop, so for blah, 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 in blah, 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 and in our case is for everything you find inside the P tag, do something. So you can imagine the for statement as in this way. So just imagine that the content of the P tag is this, is something with many things inside, and the for allows us to iterate, iterate through all the things it will find in the group, and so iterate the same action for each of them. So just imagine this is the P tag, and I want to go the first one, the second one, the third one, and check something. So do the same thing to all of them. In our case, check if it is a P tag. So then the second part, as I just mentioned, if you find a P tag, break the loop. So to translate this, if we need to use an if statement. An if statement is another basic, let's say, part of Python. It is quite intuitive. I mean, I think it's quite intuitive in the sense that if statement checks a condition. So if something is equal to P, break, stop here. The syntax, relevant if, blah, 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 colon, indentation. If, blah, 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 do something. In this case, as we said, we want to check whether we find a P tag. So this dot name comes from Beautiful Soap. We are saying, here we are saying, if the thing you find in the P tag has name equal to P, blah, 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 break. Is it clear? Mm-hmm. Okay. So it checks this statement if, checks whether it says if the name of the thing you find, which I decided to call, thanks, is equal to P, then break. And then there is the final part, else, which is, I think, also quite intuitive. So if blah, 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 break else, which means if it is not P, do something else. So in this case, else is translation equal translation dot plus string and get the text. So all of this allows us to say the computer, go through all the elements in the P tag, check if the name of what you find is P. So if it is the name of the tag is P, stop. Otherwise, get the text. And this get text is the method we use throughout the tutorial. So it says if it is not P, extract the text because we want to get the translation. So if, else, for, break, etc. are keywords. As you can see, they are in different colors. And so the computer recognizes that they are linked to something specific, and they cannot be used as names for your variables. Okay, so just go to the stop sharing. Just go to the exercise here. Can you see it? Okay, I added additional exercises here, but I think we can do it together. Okay, so we want to put the translation here, just simply assign an empty string to the variable translation, and then for in soap, blah, blah, blah. So for in this bigger P, check if, break, otherwise do something else. And then here, print the translation, and it should be, yeah. So we get the text and only the text of the translation. Then let's do it just simply, now we want to, let's say we want to create our CSV file. So in this following cells, we are going to create the CSV file, and here we are going to download the CSV file containing all the data, the metadata, and the translation we were able to collect using Beautiful Soap. So here, assign the string to the variable CSV file. So this way, assign the string test CSV. So it is the assignment of this way. Here it simply says, I think I do not have time to go through, definitely not all of this, but it simply says open. So here we just assign a string to a variable. Here it says open this as file with mode. It indicates that there is a writing. We want to write inside it and encoding the text in this way. And then we use CSV. The CSV is the library we imported at the very beginning. And we say write the file. So this function, CSV.write and round brackets, is going to, so it's going to write in the file. And then here it is how we write the CSV file. And so as you can see, we write the CSV file row by row and not, I mean, here is not column by column. So here there is a very simple assignment. So decide the name of the columns of your CSV file. So just, and so here you are going to decide which names the column of your CSV file will have. And then in the second row, we are using the variable blah, 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 we created during all the tutorial to write the second row. And so the second row will contain the content of this box, the content of the second variable, the content of the third, etc., etc. So you can just decide, I want to call the first column, let's say, ED of the let's say this way, id of the letter, and then I want to call it brief description, or just description, or short description, and here just epigraphic corpora, and then provenance. We can call the column which will contain the provenance. So yeah, this is necessary. So just check, because there is an order, and just check that, for instance, the second column will contain the content of the description. So make sure that, I mean, it's meaningful, just to be able to understand. So here we are going to find the letter, blah, 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 blah. So just be sure, I mean, assign a meaningful name to the corresponding column title. So here there is the provenance, date, and this is the text in translation. Okay, please run, I didn't run this one. Run the last one. A download should start. Let's say whether it worked or not. I do not have it. Yes, okay. Did it work? Okay, perfect. So as you can see, we have a file which contains, maybe I can show this one, because otherwise it's difficult for people at home to follow. So now I am sharing the file we were able to download. It contains the royal correspondence, the description, the epigraphic corpora, the string, the other string, the date, and all the translation here. Okay. Where's my Zoom? Okay. Now we are back to the exercise here. Okay, yeah, it's the same. So as you see in our CSV file, there is simply one letter, and you can wonder why we did all of this to one simple letter. Because, I mean, we, for one single letter, it was possible and much easier to do it manually. But as I said at the beginning, the idea was to do the same for all the 75 letters. So do you have an idea how we could write the rest of our script? The idea is that we want to do this for all the letters. So how could we, let's say, imagine which kind of, I mean, parts of Python could be useful for us to iterate, go through all the letters? Any idea?
For loop where you
Yeah.
change the number.
Exactly. So we are not going to do it, but a solution to do it is to ask the computer to go through all of this. So when at the very beginning we assigned the URL, was just for one letter. To do it for the 75 letter, we would ask, we would create a loop in which we say for each letter, so in a range basically from 1 to 75, in this range, get the content of the web page for each letter. So we are not going to discuss it, but definitely we would construct it in Python using a for loop. So for each letter, so for each URL and address, do exactly the same with it. Okay, some adjustment to the code and get the results. I think we, yeah, I think that we use all the time for the first exercise, but I mean, it's okay. I'm going to share, just to show you very briefly what we can do. Another exercise I prepared. I'm going to share the material with you if you want to try. The second one was using Perseus. We want to extract this play and into a CSV, extract and put it into a CSV file, split the text according to the character who's speaking. So again, the table, and we want to start from this and get this. So line by line, or let's say speaker, the first speaker is Lysistrata. This is the lines. So the first, let's say, lines, which is here. And then here put the line numbers. And with some code, we are able to do this. And so yeah, but I'm going to share the material so you will be able to do all of this. And this is the HTML, the XML from which you can do the exercise. Let's inspect this. This is written using TAI convention. And then, so here's information, and this is how this other file looks like in its let's say XML format. And yeah, so as you can see, there are specific tags for the speaker, and we would start from this to think about how we could extract it. And if you want, I mean, we can discuss it if you want to send me the code, if you want to try it.